Anyone there? Hello and welcome to today's Q&A with me, Chloe. Today's question is, what do you do when no one is responding to your content on social media? Crickets. No one likes crickets. This is actually a really common thing, and the first thing you need to do is recognize that, we live in a noisy world, and there is a lot of content being pushed in people's faces that, one, they can only consume so much. Two, a lot of the time they are scrolling and they miss it, especially on something like Twitter where it's real time. My favoritism is Twitter, but also on Instagram and also on Facebook. There's between 1 and 15,000 pieces of content trying to get into your Facebook newsfeed at any given point in time. So a lot of the time, it's just a case that people don't see it. The other thing to keep in mind is that you have got a lot of lurkers. Now, lurkers are often the most valuable people in your audience. You just don't know about them because they're not liking and they're not commenting and they're not engaging. I can't tell you how many times people have come up to me and started a conversation on one of my tweets and I didn't even know they were following me. Sometimes they're not even following me, but they're paying attention. I just don't know it until we have that conversation. So even if people are not liking or retweeting or commenting or whatever platform you're on, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not getting any sort of traction and engagement. That's where you want to really pay attention to your analytics. Most platforms offer analytics natively, so check them out and see, are people clicking? Are they paying attention? Are you getting the impressions as well? So for example, on Facebook right now, I could tell you that my last post had a reach of 9 people because I didn't pay Facebook. So 9 people of the 1,000 plus that like my Facebook page, 9 people potentially saw it. So I don't feel quite so bad that maybe one person or even nobody liked it, because I know that hardly anybody saw it. So yes, check your analytics. Now, with all that being said, what do you do to get that engagement? I've spoken about this I think before on this channel, but let's just do it again. If it's still a question, it means I haven't answered it well enough. So the first thing you have to do is make sure that you're targeting the right people, that your community is the community of people that you're trying to reach and engage and resonate with. And then second of all, look at your content, pay attention to what is getting traction versus what isn't, and try and work out why that may be. You have to be speaking to your audience and their pain points at all times. Now, sometimes it could be that you're just putting too much of one type of content out there. I always go by the 5-point content strategy that I developed for business owners that don't know what to post. So the 5-point content strategy that I focus on is informing, educating, inspiring, entertaining, then promoting. So try and get those 5 ratios in, 20% of each. And generally that gives you a good balance to follow. So pay attention to that as well. But make sure you're speaking to your customers. And when I say that, I do not just mean in a business context. You have to remember that people are on social media to be social. So you have to be social too. You have to be a user. That's the best piece of social media advice I can ever give you, is to be a user. Because when you know what it means to be a user, you can understand what it is people want to see, especially your audience, right? Because you understand your business and you understand their pain points. So talk about things that are interesting, things that are in the news. Pay attention. The other biggest thing you could do is listen. Pay attention to what they're talking about. And then the best way by far to get engagement isn't even to focus on your content, it's to focus on theirs and engaging with stuff that they are interested in. If you are targeting correctly the people that you want to buy your stuff or invest in you, then all you have to do is focus on the relationship. If your content's good, make sure it's scheduled and posted and going out and you're available to engage. But then Your focus has to be on building relationships with these people, which means getting involved in conversations that you maybe aren't interested in and don't care about and have nothing to do with what you do, but they matter to your audience, and so by default they should matter to you too. So really hone in on what they're talking about. Look for trends, because then you can capitalize that on your content strategy. But spend the time engaging in their conversation, because they're far more likely to respond and take an interest in you when you're talking about something that they're talking about, right? They've started the conversation, you're continuing it. And when you do that, you don't come across as salesy either. You come across as someone who's genuinely interested in what they have to say. And I don't mean the surface conversations. There's a lot of surface conversations going on. Hey, how are you? Yeah, good. Thanks for the retweet. I really appreciate that. Have a good day. It's all surface. If you really want to get people to pay attention to you, you have to really pay attention to them. Truly listen to what they're saying and really work at building depth in that conversation, going deep, trying to find out more information, trying to have a full-on conversation. You know, that's how relationships are built, and that's the best piece of advice I can give you. If you want engagement, you have to give first. Relationships are two-way, and when you do that, naturally over time, because you haven't tried to sell and because you have focused on building a relationship, people will start paying attention to you. And like I said in the beginning, if you're targeting correctly, then a huge part of the work's done, right? You know that they're interested in what you have to sell and the services and products that you're providing. So once you have their attention, it's just about keeping it, and that's where the content comes in. Paying attention to your analytics, making sure that you're informing, educating, inspiring and entertaining, as well as promoting. So I truly hope that helps. If you have any follow-up questions or would like to talk a bit further, comment below and I'll meet you there. If you did enjoy this video, it would mean the world to me if you considered subscribing. And yeah, never forget that you have the power to change the world, one connection and one conversation at a time. Much love from my heart to yours, and I hope we speak soon. Have a beautiful day wherever you are in the world.